What's going on, guys? It's David Clayton of KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for round number 6 today at the Spanish Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, feel free to check out my channel. I will leave a link to the playlist in the description. But for now, here we go again. We just got to go through all the details and that before we start the race weekend. Starting with, hopefully, if we go to the emails, yep, we now have, as you can see, we signed our new head of aerodynamics last episode. We also started the manufacturing of the rear wing. Also, if we go into, I believe we got 2 of them. Yes, we did. We manufactured 2 of these new rear wings that we got last episode. We're gonna add in another couple as well. So we got some spares just in case we crash. Sorry, just in case we end up doing any damage to them. You may have seen, if you saw the last episode, you'll know that Stroll at Miami ended up taking off yet another front wing. So this is probably a good idea to get that going. If we go back to the emails again. Race overview. Yeah, we know it's a difficult race. Post Miami, update the braking performance on Seb car. I haven't actually got any development points for Seb, so I can't really do much about that. But at the moment, let's have a look at the facilities. We have 2. We also have 2, as you can see on the right-hand side, 2 facilities being redeveloped: the design centre and the wind tunnel. The wind tunnel is going to be ready in about 46 days, whereas the design centre is going to be 67 days. But hopefully with the way everything's going, I can't do nothing about the condition of the wind tunnel at the moment because it's in the middle of being redeveloped. So we'll have to see how that goes. Let's have a look at the... Okay, even though the bar's down a little bit, I have to wait for it to get below a certain level before I can start. Yeah, before I can refurbish it. So we're gonna leave that for now. We're gonna continue on, and the underfloor design has been completed. So now when we go to the emails, we can. Yep, let us start the manufacturing of a couple of these bad boys. Get these done. They're going to be ready. Both will be ready by the 19th. So that should come in before. Both of these should come in before Monaco, hopefully. And then the next thing that should be done, current projects, next thing that should be done is the front wing in 21 days. So hopefully, when we get all these parts together, we should, touching wood, hopefully, we'll be fighting amongst the midfield teams, with a bit of luck, hopefully. Yeah, so that will be the parts for. Yeah, go to car setup. So now we have 4 of the new rear wings. We now have 4 of the new rear wings, so we've got plenty of spares for Spain. And we've just got another email. Yes, the gearbox. I forgot. Yeah, we started getting the gearbox worn during the last race at Miami. It was down to 33% on some of the cars, so powertrain, slightly worn engine as well. The gearbox though is what needs changing, so we're going to change the gearbox on car 1 to this one. Yep. So I'm going to change that one. We're also going to do the same as Seb because his one was worn as well. Oh, we have the first one of the underfloors. Go to the email, race preview. Okay, we have 2 of the floors, so we can actually put them on both cars. That's fantastic. So we'll go ahead and manufacture another couple. Get them ready. So hopefully now we've got floor and rear wing, which is more. I thought it was only going to be the rear wing, but now that we got the floor as well built, this is going to be interesting now to see where we stand in at the Spanish Grand Prix.
Formula One has cranked up the heat over Barcelona. The first Grand Prix held here was won by Nigel Mansell after a wheel-to-wheel battle with Ayrton Senna. But who will follow in his footsteps this weekend? Long straights and medium-speed turns dominate here, but there's something else to watch out for at Barcelona. The air currents are strong and unpredictable, and they'll be giving aerodynamic components a real run for their money this weekend. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, so we got a couple of new parts on. We got the new underfloor and the rear wing. So we will start with simulating practice 1 and see how things go. Same situation as normal. So practice 1 complete. Let's have a look. Are there any no visible improvements? 40% on Seb, 37 on Stroll. So now I'm going to go practice 2 and do the same. Simulate this session. And go down. Still no improvement again. There's still 50% on the setup for Seb, so we've got a bit of setup work to do, it seems. Skip this. Let's just get straight into the car setups and see what we're dealing with. So Seb, great on braking and oversteer, good on traction, bad on cornering straight. So give me a minute to have a play around with this, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, we're a bit more in the range now with Seb. I don't want to take him too far away from traction and his oversteer markers, but we should be better for cornering the straights now. So we're gonna put him on the medium tyres. Yeah, we're going to put Seb on the mediums because he's a lot better at gaining his thing than Stroll is. So we're going to do that for Seb. And then for Stroll, let's see where he stands. Good, great, bad, bad. All the way down. Right, let's see what we can do here. Okay, Stroll, I think that's a good enough region for Stroll. I've managed to keep his oversteer and braking in the same region, but I've got his other 3 bad stats into the optimal windows. So, run plan. Well, I'm going to put you out for 25 laps because you have an issue with getting acclimatized. And then for compounds, we're going to stick you on. How long do the mediums apparently go for? 49 laps. We'll stick you on the mediums. I've got to go back to Seb because I realised I haven't done his run plan yet. So run plan, we'll put you out for 22 laps. That'll probably be the safe option. Right, let's go into practice and see how this goes.
Car was great.
Yeah, we've just got Seb's through. He's now up to 80% on car setup, so that's definitely a boost there. 30% boost actually. So we're going to call him in. He's stuck in the middle of a whole pack of cars, so we'll get him in now. Stroll, we're just waiting on for his setup confidence. Okay, that's a little bit, hopefully a little bit closer to where things we want to be. So we're going to do that. We're going to send Seb back out on those mediums and see how things go. I'm going to have to fast forward. Oh, Stroll's just come through. Stroll's at 83%. So that's worked out. We'll call him in. Right, we'll give that a try for Stroll. See how he gets on with that. Tyres, what's his medium saying? 70%. Yeah, right, we'll just send him back out on that. And see how the guys do when the setups reconfigure.
Car's good.
Okay, we'll just pause that there. What's Seb saying? Oh, he's dropped down to 78. He didn't like that new setup very much. Right, it's just before pit lane, so we'll call him in. And see what he has to say. It's weird that. It's that same thing that before. Even if you get in the optimal window, it still might not be to the driver's liking. Right, Stroll has managed to get up to 83. So we'll call him back in. That's definitely a big improvement on where he was before. So let's go into the pits and see what he says on his setup. So he's dropped down to good with the braking stability, but everything else, cornering, traction, straights are great. So I'm content to leave Stroll where he is. And I'm going to leave Sebastian on his setup. That's the best I can get it. So, yeah, that's just about as good as we can get for now. We'll head into qualifying and see what we can do from there. Okay, we're now going to make sure these are set properly. We're going to put Seb back on his highest configuration setup. Yep, so that's all done. Everything's all set, so we'll head into qualifying now and see where we filter out in the field here. Right, Stroll's now coming up to the end of his lap. First lap's a bit of guidance. I didn't read too much into the practice times, considering how off balance they were. 120.4 for Stroll. So now let's see where Sebastian comes in. He's faster in the first sector, green in the second. So here comes Vettel to the line. And he is 6/10 off Stroll. I am surprised by that. I'm very surprised by that. So we'll go to later on. We'll go to later on in the session, just before the last runs, and we'll see how the grid stacks up. Okay, we've just come to the end of the first few runs in that. Seb's car was reconfiguring. I didn't look properly, but I think he may have had some damage somewhere, which explains why he is so slow. So for now, I'm hoping... Oh, this is going to be a disaster if it doesn't reconfigure in time. For Sebastian. Right, coming up to 3 minutes 15. I've got to get Stroll out now. Please, I need Seb's car reconfigured. If I'd known he'd been damaged earlier, I would have... Oh, no, this is going to be a disaster if he doesn't get out. This is not good. Not good at all. Right, he should reconfigure with just about enough time. Right, get him out, get him out, get him out, get him out, get him out. I've got to stick with Sebastian. I've got to hope that Sebastian gets through now because, oh no, more cars. Right, 2 minutes. I think Seb is... No, one of the Williams is the last car on track, along with the Hasses, so... Hopefully, that's enough time for Seb to get round and do his... get round for his lap. Right, here comes Stroll now, up to the end of his lap. Nice pocket of clean air. He's literally just caught up, literally just catching up to the back of that last set of cars that are starting their laps now. Now out comes Stroll round the final corner. Yellow didn't really improve much. He's green in the second sector. He's only improved by a tenth, but he's out of qualifying still. We're still not improved on the qualifying pace. But race pace, hopefully. Sebastian, he hasn't improved in the first sector either. And we're going to stick with him now as he heads up, goes back up the hill towards the back straight. Get through turn 9 here. Get the DRS open. To this new section, green in the second sector. So again, like Stroll, no improvement in the first, but he's improved in the second, which is worrying considering how far off Stroll Vettel is. He goes through the final chicane round here. To the line, what is Seb's time going to be? He's improved to just behind Stroll. He's only... Oh no, Mick Schumacher took that away. But still, only two tenths off Schumacher in qualifying. So I know qualifying we've never been the best, but hopefully with the race pace, hopefully the race pace will be a lot better now with the new parts. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, let's have a look at the strategy for what we got. 2 stops all around, it seems. Right, let's let me have a look at the tyre life and see what we can do. Right, I think we got a good window here with the 1 stop. Tyres don't wear out nearly as much as I thought they would around Spain, but 37 laps on the hards for Seb, and then going on to the mediums. So we'll confirm that one for Seb, and then we will select it, plan C, go back, and then for Stroll, can we let's see if we can do the same with Stroll. So bin that, and then open his window. He's a little bit harder on his tyres, so I may have to conserve a little bit more with Stroll, but around the same window. Yeah, we'll go around the same window for Stroll. He is a little bit harder on his tyres. I may go 1 lap later or 1 lap earlier, depending on how he is. But that's the general gist of what we want to do with them. So yeah, that's all. They're all good to go. So let's go to the race then and see what they say.
The drivers have now taken position on the grid, and it's looking like a cloudy day. And there's Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. Everything's been building to this. This is it. It's the Spanish
Here we go to 5 red lights for the Spanish Grand Prix.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Right, straight on to Seb. Get him on overtake, and we'll go on board. He's he's a bit boxed in, unfortunately. Have a look at Stroll. He's probably alongside Sebastian right now. So drop down to there.
You can use energy.
I'm just going to follow these guys around. They're side by side. Side by side, guys. Don't do anything rash. Don't do anything rash. Don't do anything rash, please. Okay, Stroll has got Vettel. One of the Alfa Romeos, it seems, has had a real shocker start. That's Joe. So now we'll stick with these guys for the opening lap and see if we're See if we're in any position to make some moves. We're quite close, actually. We haven't been dropped immediately at the start of the race like we usually have done. So, hopefully that bodes well for the race in general. Can't say for certain. You can't tell for certain with qualifying. Qualifying doesn't really give you much of a clear indication on where the car performance is. You only know during the race itself. So we'll see how things go for now, and hopefully we should be on for a better position this race. We just had a notification to lock up from Russell. Oh no, not again, Russell. His bad luck from Miami has followed him to Spain, it seems. Oh, we just had a thing through a lock-up from Leclerc as well, and Leclerc was leading, and he's gone straight on at turn 4. Leclerc, oh no, his momentum's definitely be affected for what happened at Miami as well. Obviously, Leclerc had that lock-up going into the last few corners and ended up in the wall. So now, just looking at Leclerc, he's now dropped behind Hamilton, or ways behind Hamilton actually, 3 seconds. But speaking of Hamilton, he's hanging on to the back of the leading 3. He's doing really well in this race. So there's a possibility of him getting into the mix with these guys. As a notification came through for a lock-up from Latifi, as Sainz now goes into the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. So this home crowd are loving that. Sainz leads his home race ahead of Verstappen, Perez, and Hamilton just lurking in the background there. He's more than happy to pick up any pieces if anything goes wrong for these guys. Meanwhile, for us, we're on lap 10. We're only 7 seconds behind this pack here. So we haven't been dropped at an alarming rate, but still, I thought the upgrades we brought would have made much more of a difference than this. Because here we are, and we still have Albon for company. He's kept up with us, so yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. I thought I would have had a bit of a different episode for you guys today with the upgrades we bought, but doesn't seem to be looking that way. We'll have to Stroll saving up a lot of fuel again, so we'll get him to push for a little bit on his fuel. But for now, guys, we're going to have to we're just going to have to knuckle down and see what happens with mistakes again, it seems. Okay, I just want to go back here because Albon has been fighting these guys. Vettel dropped behind Albon, and then Vettel just went and double overtook both of them. So we're going to be, yeah, this is going to be the status quo for our race because we're going to be stuck with Albon again for this, as long as, however, this race goes on. I don't know what we're supposed to do with in regards to the strategy with Albon. He is on the medium tyres though. So with the, yeah, they're on the mediums. Schumacher's on softs. So Schumacher's on softs. So's Russell, Gasly, Alonso, and Hamilton. So that explains why Hamilton was still sticking with the front group. He's on the softs compared to their mediums. So those guys are definitely doing the 2-stop. It just depends on the guys who started on the mediums. Because I know for a fact we're doing a 1-stop, but that again, that probably doesn't translate to what the other guys are doing, because there's several other guys who've started on the hards as well. That's Ricardo and Joe. Yeah, just them. So I don't know if they're doing a 2-stop or whatnot, but again, that's it's all hindsight, because the only strategies that we had on the screen were 2-stops. We literally edited this strategy to a 1-stop for ourselves. So we're just watching Stroll and Vettel fight through turns 1, 2, and 3, which also doesn't help the fact that this is allowing to help Albon stick with us. I really wish there was. You see, it says don't fight your team. The team orders is don't fight your teammate and hold back cars behind. I wish there was. Another one on here that just says follow your teammate. So you just stick behind him and just get the DRS and follow him that way. But yeah, at the moment we've now dropped to 12 seconds behind Ricciardo, but that's better. That's a lot better compared to like the 25 that would have been at the start of the season. So the pace is slowly starting to get better, but we're still having to rely on other people making mistakes and whatnot. So I'm going to leave these guys to it for now. I'm not too fussed about Albon at the moment because he's not going to get away from us and he's going to pit before us anyway. So I'm going to leave these guys for now and see what we do nearer the pit stops. Okay, first few stops have been made. First few stops have been made now. Go back on here. So Schumacher has pit. He's in now. So's Gasly and Alonso. I saw Hamilton pit as well. So all the soft tyre guys have now just started pitting. So now here's Schumacher. He's just come in. Gasly and Alonso, they've just gone out. So we're now both ahead of Schumacher on track now officially. And then Russell, I'm pretty certain he's just stopped now. No, he hasn't stopped, but Hamilton has stopped. He was still, even though Hamilton got overtaken by Leclerc, he was still fighting in that. There go Sainz and Verstappen into the pit, the lead two into the pit. But yeah, Leclerc, despite that lockup, he caught straight back up to these guys and he's overtaken Perez. So that shows how much pace he's got in the tank. Hamilton's going to be a wild card in this race because he had a lot of pace as well to be able to stick with those guys for a very long period of time, actually. So
lifting coast. Copy.
Let's see how he plays out into this race. All the guys behind him have got to stop again, so he's not under threat from any of them. Gasly and Alonso just pitted. Ricciardo's going to be out for a while. Tsunoda, he'll pit. All these guys behind us. Schumacher's already pitted, but because he was on the softs, he's going to be on a 2-stop. That's a guarantee. So we should have enough to stay ahead of Schumacher. And then, yeah, Latifi pitted, still at the back, hasn't made any gains, so not really much to go on for him. We'll just put Stroll on pit. I've been alternating pushing between these two guys because they keep overtaking each other and playing follow the leader. The guy who gets in front burns off all his fuel, while the guy behind, like Stroll, is saving it all the time. So I'm having to alternate taking both of them off balanced and pushing while they're alternating the lead. And now in come Leclerc and Perez. So now Verstappen has actually gotten ahead of Sainz in the pit lane. And Sainz has actually ended up behind Bottas, so that's definitely not good. Bottas comes in anyway, so he's coming now. That gives Sainz free rein to chase after Verstappen. He'll close up, hopefully, because he didn't have DRS, so that's... Perez, it's going to be close. It's going to be close between Perez and Verstappen for the lead, and Perez gets it. Perez now goes into the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix ahead of Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, and there's Hamilton. He's still up with this group. So that's going to be... Sainz is definitely going to catch up to the back of them, to the back of this group here. There's Leclerc. He's already on the back of Verstappen. Sainz will catch up as well, but he's going to pull Hamilton with him. So that's going to be interesting to see where they fall out. A few more pit stops have happened down as Ocon, Magnussen, they've just come out. Tsunoda and Albon have pit. Albon's now pit. There goes our guys as Tsunoda comes out, but Albon, yep, he's only just pulled out of his box now. So, looking good at the moment. They went 24 laps. Using Albon for reference, sorry, he went 23 laps. We're going to around 37 with our guys. So, yeah, we're looking in a good position against the usual suspects. So hopefully, if we gain track position with the one stop, that'll give us a lot more leeway to fight other cars than that. Sebastian goes defensive. Is Stroll going to hang it around the outside? Nope. Sebastian hangs him outright. These guys really shouldn't be fighting as hard as they are. A Stroll comes straight back down the inside. They're fighting into the last sector of this track. And now, they're side by side, still through that chicane. And now, as Sebastian finally decides to back out of it, as Stroll now gets ahead of him. Yeah, these guys, the new parts have actually equalised these guys quite significantly now. As Stroll gets ahead now, and you can see what I mean. Stroll had just over 6.5 laps of fuel now, but as he's gotten ahead, that's now started going down rapidly. He's now down to 3.8 in just a few corners. So that's probably due to the. I wonder if that's due to the engine wear now that we've got, because the engines are now quite worn at the moment. So we're going to hold. What we're going to do now, we got Stroll's got decently enough ahead. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Sebastian. And while we're in clear now, I'm going to ask him not to fight his teammate. Just stick with him in the DRS. Put Stroll back now down to balance.
Okay.
I'm going to get these guys to just follow each other for the time being and see how things pan out. So now we've got 11 more laps to do on these tyres for one of these guys. Stroll has used a bit more tyres than Sebastian has. If we have a look at the tyre condition, they are quite hot though as well. I have noticed they've been getting hot quite a bit. So Tsunoda following us actually. He's locked up into the last chicane. And there's Schumacher just behind him. So Schumacher's caught up to the back of Tsunoda, thanks to that lockup. So I'm wondering if Tsunoda's going to fight a little bit more now. These guys, tyre wear. It's not so much the tyre wear. You can see there the tyre temperatures are immediately going into the yellow. So I think what I'm going to do for both these guys is I'm going to put them on light to save their tyre wear.
Okay.
No, that's the wrong one. I need to go on to light for Stroll.
Yeah,
I'm going to let.
Okay.
I'm going to leave Sebastian to build up fuel, sitting behind Stroll, and then we'll see how things go from there. Well, we just had a notification for our pit window entry. At the same time, Gasly has the same lockup. He goes straight off at turn 4 and nearly hits the tyre wall. So Sebastian now overtakes. I've taken Sebastian off. Don't fight your teammate, because Tsunoda and Schumacher have caught up to the back of us. At the moment, we've still got a couple of laps left for our pit window, and the tyres have actually held up quite well, in all honesty, while when we've gone on to light. So you can see there on the tyre life indicator, the projected tyre life compared to our actual tyre life. So I'm actually confident to pit Stroll on 37, which is where we were going to do Sebastian, and then pit Sebastian. If this goes on, I may pit him a couple of laps later and give him a bit more fresher tyre to fight with at the end. So we will see. We will see how it goes out. We've still got a couple of laps left to do in this stint. But if we've held the tyres on for as long as we have like this, then it should be it should look good towards the end of the race. We'll have to see. Okay, I had the notifications through saying that we're on the pit lap now, which is 37. But looking at the tyre wear, they're both on 50% on the hards. And I get the feeling that the guys behind us, Schumacher and Tsunoda, are going to have to stop again. So I'm confident that I can push this a little bit longer with both of them. I reckon I could take Stroll. I may pit Stroll in a couple of laps on 49 as a precautionary measure. Or I may leave them... So they're both over 50. You know what? I'm going to leave them until after lap 40. That's going to give us 20... that's going to give us roughly 26 laps on the hards. Not the hards, the mediums. But everyone else is going to be stopping again around that time anyway, so I'm comfortable with doing that if they make second stops. Okay, we're just coming to onto the pit when we're just coming onto the pit lap now. We got messed up getting overtaken by back markers, but Stroll, he got a massive DRS pull off of the Red Bull ahead of us, and that allowed him to get him and Schumacher to get Vettel and Tsunoda, and Vettel's dropped to the back of that. Vettel, unfortunately, has dropped to the back of that queue, but
that's a position gained for Alpha Tauri.
So we're on the pit window lap now. So with Stroll, he's coming in now. I'm going to bring Stroll in now for the mediums and get him in.
Box.
And then the moment he comes in, I'm going to go on to Sebastian. In fact, with Stroll, I'm going to put him up to standard.
We good to push.
Let him do what he needs to do. And then for Sebastian, he's going to go on for one more lap. His tyre wear is slightly better than Stroll. But for Vettel, what I'm going to do, coming out of the corner, is Tsunoda and Schumacher are side by side. Right, attack, push, ERS, all the way down this straight. So Sebastian's hit his pit box, 2.8. There he is. I just see him pull out of the box now. So that's not looking good. I think Albon's going to get him as well. He has. That's annoying, but I'm pretty confident in the fact that Albon's going to pit again, so I'm not overly fussed about that. Here's Stroll going up through turn 3 now, and Sebastian as well, with Albon directly in between them. Everyone's on mediums now, but we are guaranteed going to the end. I don't know what's happening in regards to Tsunoda, Schumacher and Albon, so if we look at the intervals, we are 20 seconds behind Tsunoda, who's still fighting Schumacher if they pit again. Sebastian thought about the outside and nearly went wide as a result there, so we're going to follow him up to the second DRS zone, put him on overtake again here, and see what he says down this back straight. He gets DRS, he's closing, he's going to go for the move. He goes for the move down the inside, and he's got it. Runs Albon out wide. There we go, that's what we were hoping for down the pit straight. And now Albon is stuck his nose in again. And he's going to try and get through, but Sebastian holds his line. We're going to put him on defend as we go through here. Albon is still being a bloody nuisance right now, which is not what I need. And he's just going to go straight past around the outside with DRS. So frustrating that we can't pull away from this one goddamn Williams.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Really hope this isn't going to be the status quo for the rest. I really hope Albon just goes away and pits again. He's got, what, 65%? I hope he just pits and goes on the softs, because I really don't want to be dealing with this for the whole race with Sebastian. I'm going to go on, see if we can pull the same trick again. We're going to go on to overtake now. Follow them through this corner, uphill, onto the back straight. DRS open. Again, Albon's just going to move the car ever so slightly, and for whatever reason, it's enough just to put the driver off behind, which is, I don't understand how that works. So we'll go one more try down. We'll go one more try down the pit straight. Go through these corners. Put him on an overtake now. We're going to follow Sebastian down straight. Albon moves to cover the inside, but this time Sebastian is going to get the move done down the pit straight, back to neutral. He's used up a lot of battery just trying to get past Albon, but hopefully, I'm praying Sebastian just pushes away now and leaves Albon behind, because I don't want to be dealing with this for the whole race. This is basically just a regression back to when we were fighting Albon at Bahrain. We've upgraded the car, and I know I'm not naive to think that Williams hasn't upgraded their car. But if you consider where Stroll is, not Stroll, Latifi, in relation to everyone else on the intervals, yeah. Latifi's like 30 seconds behind the rest of us. We're here still fighting Albon in another Williams. So I don't know if the driver ratings makes that big of a difference, or driver morale, but I find it weird that we're still here in this position fighting Albon, despite the fact the last two races where we've upgraded the car has shown clearly that the Williams doesn't have the exact same pace that we do, but here Albon is still making our life difficult. It's one of the Mercedes comes out of the pits. I believe that's Hamilton, so not much we can do. He's going to get ahead of us. And Sebastian's still on pushing as well, so we've got a little bit of a gap to work with now that Albon's dropped off. Speaking of Albon, he has not come in. Schumacher has come in. He's only just come out the pit lane there, but oh no, we're still behind him. But there is a back marker there. There is a Hamilton coming through, so we'll stick with Stroll. And hopefully, if Hamilton comes up and laps Schumacher, we might be able to get into a fight with Schumacher. But this just shows where our car is. Even with the upgrades that we've done to the chassis, the floor, and the rear wing, we're not quite making the inroads that I would have liked personally. Let's go on the Stroll. We'll put him on overtake, see if we can get him up to the back of Schumacher.
Overtake. Yeah.
Get him up to the back of Schumacher. What's that? Oh, Ricciardo spun off at turn one, and he's spun off alone. Locks the rears and full 360. Round he goes. So I doubt that's made a massive impact. He is on 65% tyre wear. Sonoda is in the pits now, I've just noticed, as he goes into his box. So overtake. Come on, Stroll. Let's get you down the. Let's get you down the pits on overtake. I doubt it's. Where's Sonoda in relation? He comes out the pit lane. We're fighting Schumacher. Schumacher's going to get ahead. Are we going to get ahead? No, we don't. We couldn't quite get it. We couldn't quite get it. And now they've pulled away a little bit. 0.6, 0.7, and I think they're both on softs. So that might be all she wrote, guys. We tried. Sebastian, he's back here in his own little world. I don't think everyone else has pit onto softs, so I'm not wondering if the two stopped, but as it turned out, was actually faster. Sonoda is weaving all over the place, having a look round at Schumacher, and that's allowed Stroll to get up to the back of them. We'll give it one more go with Stroll. See how See how things goes. He comes through here, flick him on the overtake. He is a bit closer to Tsunoda. They're both going to get DRS on Schumacher. Tsunoda's going to follow the tow while Stroll is not. I find that surprising, because Tsunoda's going to pull out and block his path and go around the outside of Schumacher. They're fighting. See if we can get ahead. They're side by side, still going through turn 3. Schumacher's just going to edge him out though. So Stroll should have tucked in behind Tsunoda and gone to the inside, because then he wouldn't have been cut off and he would have had the racing line. But that's not... he's still hanging with the back of them, even though they're on soft tyres, but their soft tyres at this early stage are going to have a bit more bite to them. But at the same time, they will wear out quicker. And that will eventually also bring Vettel into the equation as well. So, let's have a look at Sebastian. He's not too far behind. He's been on push for a while, and he's still hovering around the 1.5 laps of fuel region. So that's, and that's in clean air as well, so that's very odd. That's very odd indeed. So we're going to go on to overtake with Stroll, coming onto the pit straight. Tsunoda's a little bit closer to Schumacher than we are to Tsunoda. But what else? I don't know what else we can do, because these two fighting, they're on the softer tyre as well, but they're not, because they're fighting, they're not getting away from Stroll. But by the same token, because they're fighting so much, as Tsunoda thinks about yet another move down the inside at turn 4, but Schumacher's going to have the inside for the next hairpin. Is Tsunoda going to be able to hold it around the outside? No, he gets forced off wide. Again, not quite making the move stick, but Tsunoda, he is relentless. He's not giving up this without a fight. So we're going to put Stroll on overtake now, see if that makes any form of difference. Tsunoda, he's not going to make the move there. We're going to harvest now as we go onto the pit straight with Stroll. Sebastian's not quite catching. Ricciardo's now come in. He's definitely going on softs to the end. So there's Stroll behind Tsunoda. We're still following Tsunoda. We're going to go on to overtake now with Stroll. See what he can do. He's dropping. He just keeps dropping back that little bit. There's Tsunoda following Schumacher in the tow. And again, Stroll's not doing the same thing. It's a bit frustrating in all honesty, because here we are. We're right with these guys, and we're actually with them on merit now because of their two-stop strat. But we're just not getting... We just haven't got that extra bit to make the move count. Vettel is... he's still not... he's still 3.5 seconds back. He's not making any inroads at the moment on Stroll. Whereas Stroll is sticking with these guys as best he can. It's a bit surprising, considering Sebastian's been on push this whole time. I thought he would have at least made a little bit of headway into that gap between him and Stroll. Tsunoda again goes for yet another move on Schumacher. He's side by side with him through the sector 3 now. We're going to follow this fight with Schumacher. Stroll coming up to this section onto overtake, because these two are side by side now. As there goes Schumacher. He's been forced out by Tsunoda, and that leaves him susceptible to Stroll. And Stroll's finally going to get the move on Schumacher. There he goes. He is in ahead of Schumacher and is now onto the back of Tsunoda. So yeah, that was the one thing that we were waiting for. Lance Stroll has now gotten ahead of Schumacher, so now it's still in the midst of this group of cars, so he should still be able to stick with Tsunoda, hopefully. I'm hoping so, anyway. And this little DRS, because these three are still in their DRS train, Vettel's dropped back to 4 seconds now. He's literally just been minding his own business, really, just trundling around. Quite surprising, really. I thought he would have been at least made some gains. The notifications come up. That's why the tyres are getting warm. Right, let's put him on light and see where that goes. As for Stroll, overtake.
Yeah.
Overtake down the back straight. Keep him a little bit of overtake. That'll keep him in region. Quickly do this. I'm going to go to Stroll, see what his tyre conditions are. Yeah, they're overheating as well. So, light, and then we're going to go across.
Take it easy. Yeah.
Tyres are overheating in the traffic, so we're going to go light. Harvest here. Overtake. Come on, Stroll. Let's see what you got. Mate. He's dropped back a little bit from Tsunoda again. I don't think he's going to get... He's definitely not going to get the move again, but he is going to get the slipstream off Tsunoda to protect himself from Schumacher, at least. Oh, is he going to go for a dive? Is he going to go for the dive? Oh, he thought about it. Stroll thought about the move, so he's obviously getting sick and tired of looking at the back of that AlphaTauri now. But Tsunoda, his driving style is just so aggressive. It's not very easy to not only get the move, but keep him behind as well, because he just doesn't... Tsunoda just goes for the moves wherever he sees fit. So, status quo for now. The light, hopefully on light, the tyres will survive a bit longer, hopefully, and not overheat as much. Vettel, I don't know what's happened with Vettel. He's just dropped further and further back. He's now 5 seconds behind. 5 seconds behind this fight now. So, yeah, that's very unusual, to be honest. Sebastian, he's been the dominant driver for a majority, but here at Spain, Stroll's had his number. He's gotten into the fight with these guys. Both of these guys have made mistakes in that, but the race pace when we have it has definitely been a lot better. Now, as we follow these guys, let's go up to the front, because Leclerc, after the setback at Miami, has been in a world of his own again. He's dominating this race by 12 seconds from Verstappen. He's now caught up to a set of back markers. Verstappen has literally had no answer to Leclerc here. So, and then further back is a different story, because Sainz is fighting with Perez. Hamilton, unfortunately, has dropped off the back of these guys. His pace, he has pit again, so that's probably why, but Hamilton's pace in this race in particular has been so much better. He's been fighting the front four the entirety of this first stint of the race. So the signs are encouraging for Mercedes that Hamilton can fight with the front four then. Right, we've just had a thing for a yellow flag come up. There's been a crash on the circuit, and that was a good thing that yellow flag came out, because Schumacher got dangerously close to us, and turn 5 crash for Gasly, that was. He locks up, goes off, and takes his front wing off in the gravel. So that's the end of his challenge for points. He's got to pit for a new front wing. Very fortunate that yellow flag came out when it did, because it gave Stroll some breathing room. And as I say that, Stroll, it just came up with the notification that Stroll locked up and has taken another front wing off. Stroll, what have you done?
So this was the Aston Martin.
He's locked up, gone straight off, and taken that section of his front wing clean off. I may as well pit him. I'm not changing his tyres. I'm just going to edit the car part. Oh, that's another front wing shot. That's 3 front wings in 3 race weekends he's taken off. I didn't bother doing another front wing. I completely forgot about it. But, oh, Stroll. And I was giving you such good praise, man. You're doing so well to keep with Schumacher and Stroll, and then literally 2 laps from the end, you've gone and done this to yourself. I genuinely can't believe that. Genuinely can't believe that you've gone and done that, Stroll. So now, we've got Vettel. As you can see just behind us, Leclerc has started the final lap of the race. So Vettel, he's going to be the lead driver now. He wasn't impressive this race, unfortunately, but he is the lead driver because this man, despite performing as well as he did up until that point, threw it away right at the end of the race. And I'm sorry, Stroll, but I've got no sympathy for you. I've got no sympathy for you for it. You brought that one entirely upon yourself yet again. And it's just costing us more money that we could be using to develop the car on repairing parts that you keep breaking. But reality of this sport, as Leclerc comes through, it's going to be 4 wins out of 6 for Charles Leclerc in this manager career mode, this fantasy career mode. He comes out of the final corner, across the line. Charles Leclerc wins the Spanish Grand Prix, makes it 4 wins out of 6. It's another dominant performance from him. Vettel, he finishes across the line. He's safe in 17th. Max Verstappen, no answer to Leclerc. He finishes 2nd. And Perez is just going to keep the home man Sainz at bay. He's going to finish in P3 on the podium. Sainz 4th. He couldn't quite hold Perez off at the end. And then Hamilton, last car on the lead lap. Everyone up to P6 was lapped at least once. So that shows you how bad Russell's mistake was. As his teammate Hamilton comes out the final corner, it didn't show it because of Hamilton's strategy, but his pace at the start of the race, he was keeping up with the front 4. So that's definitely an encouraging sign for the Mercs. Us, meanwhile, Sebastian, P17, didn't have the pace compared to Stroll, unfortunately, but Stroll went and completely screwed up to where he ended up 5.5 seconds in range of Albon. Stroll, man. Stroll. Now here we are in the final race classification. Charles Leclerc, race win, fastest lap, maximum points. Couldn't have gone better for him. 16.3 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Perez rounds out the podium. It's a double Red Bull podium for the first time this season, I believe, actually. So that's a shocker when you think about it, when you compare it to real life. Sainz in 4th. Not the result he would have wanted at his home race, but he ultimately, his 2-stop wasn't on par with the rest of the top 3. Same could be said for Hamilton. He was quite a ways back in the end, but the early race pace showed promising signs from Mercedes in the early stages at least. And then lap down, Russell 6th, Alonso, Bottas. Gasly still gets points after his mistake, and Lando Norris rounds out the podium for McLaren. So in the drivers, 27 points Leclerc is ahead of his teammate Sainz, who still holds on to P2 in the standings. Perez is only 2 points behind, and Verstappen has now closed right up to that as well. He's on 98 points, just behind his teammate. And then Hamilton solidly in 5th ahead of Alonso, who's ahead of George Russell. Mr. Consistency in real life is not Mr. Consistency in the game, as it seems. So that's a bit disappointing for George. He's going to want to have to perform better than his teammate at Monaco if he wants to start climbing back up the order and be with his teammate. Bottas remains in 8th with Ocon. Gasly climbs up 2 places ahead of Norris. So the 2 bottom point scorers swap round again. Zhou drops down outside the top 12. And then in constructors, still no change as far as that goes. 32 points Ferrari are ahead of Red Bull in there. Mercedes still solid 3rd. Alpine, Alfa Romeo again still solid in their positions. And then McLaren and AlphaTauri are going to be... They're going to be pretty much joined at the hip all season from the way it looks. Haas rounds out the points runners. And we still have yet to score points. But I'm hoping when that front wing comes in, we are... Because we've put a lot more time and effort in that front wing as we get another development point for Stroll. Probably going to have to go with braking again for Stroll because he just locked up. He locked up and just went straight on. He locked up at turn 5, straight on into the wall. When he did as well, just not that far from the end. That's just so infuriating when that happens. But again, part and parcel of the sport. I'm angry with him. I'm very angry with him, but there's not much I can do about that. But we are going to round out the episode there, guys. We've got a few more bits of manufacturing to do, thanks to Stroll now, but especially around Monaco. We can't go in there with the lack of front wings that we have. But that's going to end it off for there, guys. If you enjoyed the episode, do leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and turn on notifications as well. Do feel free to leave a comment on the video with your opinions on these videos, what I can do to improve. You can be my board of directors if you like to tell me where I can improve the car to get us up into the midfield. So I'm going to leave it off there now, guys. I will see you next time for round number 7 of the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing. Goodbye.